All right, Austin, just wanted to get your thoughts on the offensive that you guys put out there tonight.
Good, not great. I think we could have played a little better. I thought we did a good job in the first half. Second half was a little weird. That new clock rule kind of came into effect finally in that second half. We had one possession in the third quarter, and then we had, I think it was 2 or 3 in the third, or in the fourth. So I thought we played pretty well. It's a shout out to our defense. They played really, really well in a night where we probably didn't have our best night. They did their job so that we were able to do enough to win the game. So really proud of the guys around the field. When I say we played good, not great, I probably put that more on myself than the rest of the group. I thought the offensive line did a really good job. I don't know if we gave up any sacks. I thought the receivers did a really good job. Running backs did a really good job. So personally, probably could have played better, but proud of the group.
Tyson mentioned the chemistry the two of y'all seem to have. Could you talk about that a little bit? You seem to find Easton a lot.
Yeah, Easton's done a really great job. He's just a really reliable kid, always in the right spot, high motor, good football IQ. So he's just a really savvy player. But in all seriousness, he does a really good job out there. One thing I love about Easton is when his name's called, he doesn't blink. Really just handles his business like a man. Picks up that rifle when his number's called and goes out there and does his job. So I'm really proud of the way he's handled his business and the way he's kind of conducted himself to where now he's a reliable person. And when I see him out there, I have full trust in him.
Yeah, Easton, just I guess kind of take us through your progression and just how much your confidence is growing now that you're in this role. You know Austin's going to be looking for you. Just how much, especially games like this, can you continue to kind of build off that?
Yeah, I mean, you all are just now starting to see it, but it's kind of been this way for a while, through spring ball and fall camp and then practices in the season. I'm not a new name so far this season. So, I wouldn't say it's anything new, just the start of it.
Austin, just seeing what the run game was able to do today, any thoughts on that? Because, it's very impressive.
Yeah, that's huge. That's going to be super important, especially in conference play. We got dominated in time of possession last week, and a lot of that is because we're throwing the ball so much we weren't able to run it and kind of control the ball. And so I'm really proud of the way the offensive line responded. They controlled the ball really well. We were able to run the ball. Those guys took a lot of pride in that. MTSU was big and physical up front, so that was a bit of a challenge, but they did a good job. And really proud of the way our running backs handled themselves. We had a lot of different guys go out there and make plays. Marquise had a good catch for a distance. Davion scored, receiving a touchdown, and then Elijah and LT did a great job running the ball. So I'm really proud of the way all those guys kind of came out there and played, and especially the offensive line.
Easton's touchdown reception, obviously it wasn't the longest completion that you had all day, but probably one of your best throws and one of the best catches tonight. Tell me about that play.
Yeah, it was just a little concept that we like to run in the red zone. And so I started on that side, corner, jumped down on the shorter route. And at that point, I knew I had Easton in the corner of the end zone. And so really it was about just getting over that corner and getting it down in time to where he could drag his feet. And Easton ran a really good route, stayed friendly, and I was able to drop in the corner there to him. And so just a kind of a testament, like I said, savvy player who finds a way to get open and just makes my job easy.
And that's all about having touch on your part, right?
Sure, yeah. Just having to get it up and down pretty quick. It can't be too much of like a ball in the air like that stupid pick I threw. It's just got to get up and down pretty quickly. So, yeah.
First half, you guys were pretty efficient, pretty good offensively. Second half, I was wondering, did the timeouts affect you guys at all too? The extra TV timeouts and all that?
I think one of the things is it's kind of like you just get cold turkey when you're over there on the sideline for so long, and at that point when you have so few possessions, maybe you can press at times to feel like you have to score. I think that's why it was good to see us also control the ball late in the game. We were also kind of at the point where once we got in the fourth quarter and we were really starting to possess the ball, it was all about controlling it and trying to keep it away from then so we could kind of burn out this game and just get out of here with a W. So at that point, the offensive line took it upon themselves and we were able to run the ball pretty well. And so, yeah, it was just kind of a different approach to the way we wanted to play offense in the second half, playing with that lead and trying to get out of here and get that first conference win. So, yeah.
If you guys are capable of doing that, why don't you do it more often, though? just control and run the ball with power?
Just different times in the game call for different approaches. You know, there's times where we're not running the ball very well, and there's stuff to be able to throw it in the pass game. And so, I think it was nice to see us control the ball and run the ball well. It's something we haven't really been able to do lately. But you know, it was one of those things that in the end of the game we were trying to do that. I think everybody knows that the base of what we do is throw the ball, and you know we're pretty efficient at it. And so we want to be able to do that, but also control the ball. And so it's nice to be able to do both going forward.
Austin, I was going to ask you about that. You did 38 passes in the first half. Is there a magic number, or it just kind of depends on the flow of the game and number of possessions?
Yeah, it's just kind of the flow of the game. We felt like we had stuff in the passing game in the first half. Yeah, I didn't know it was 38 and then 14, I guess, in the second half. So I guess that kind of just tells to where we were at in the game. We wanted to be able to control the line of scrimmage and control the ball. I think it was something that, especially after last week, when we had been dominated in that fashion, in that facet, time of possession, I think it was something we wanted to be able to do a better job of this week. And so for us, it was, you know, in the first half, we were really rolling and we were doing what we were doing. And then the second half, we really wanted to dig in and really control the ball and be able to run the ball and impose our will.
You guys had 8 possessions in the first half. I mean, that helps to get those extra opportunities from the defense.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, the first and second half were really 2 different games almost. You know, you're getting 3 and outs and friggin' TV timeout every 2.5 minutes. And, you know, and then that second half, like I said, we had 1 possession in the third quarter. I think we may have got the ball like with 30 seconds in the end of the third quarter to start our second possession of the second half. But yeah, so it's such a different tale of 2 games. And so I think that's kind of why you'd see the flow of the game go that way and maybe the play calling. But I trusted and was happy with what Coach Helton was thinking at the time of digging in and really trying to control the ball and be able to run the ball. And sometimes that's what the game calls for. It's very similar to like last year against UAB when we had to run the ball a lot and we controlled the ball a lot. And that's kind of was the game plan. I felt that was kind of what we were trying to do in the second half.
You guys think you can get into a rhythm playing on weeknights over the next month?
Yeah, it's just going to be all about just developing a schedule. It's like you just got to look at a Tuesday like it's a Thursday. You got to look at a Sunday like it's a Wednesday, a Saturday like it's a Tuesday. You kind of just got to almost like when you were on holiday break as a kid in school and you kind of didn't know what day of the week it was. You just kind of got to be like that and just think about it like in football terms, hey, it's Tuesday, but it's really Saturday. So it's just going to all be about kind of focusing and realizing just like what the job is at hand, and that's all goes back to like how we try to approach everything here. It's just be a pro and at your job and kind of handle it that way.
Easton, what do you think the biggest difference is in you this year versus last year, biggest growth from freshman to sophomore?
Growth, probably just knowing the offense, getting comfortable out there. I mean, as a true freshman coming in, especially with my size, and, you know, I don't really pass the eye test, so it's hard to get out there. But just the longer I was here and the more and more consistent I was and showing the coaching staff that I can go out there and really, really play, I think that's really what it was.
Does that kind of carry, I guess, a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always been that way, though. Kind of just not looked down upon, but sort of doubted. Yeah, I definitely play with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder.
Can I ask a little bit too? I mean, Austin talked about your play and just that relationship. Can you also just kind of talk about what that relationship has been like, just getting comfortable with just the quarterback-receiver relationship, just you especially in this offense?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, like in fall camp and things like that, when like Malachi and Dalvin aren't going so much just because risk of injury and stuff like that, like I ended up being out there with Austin a lot. So really, that was a great time for us to just kind of build that relationship. Yeah, that's really where that came from.
Thanks, guys.